Real news. True, honest, and not fake news.
Today, what's been happening is the funeral for Barbara Bush. She actually died on Monday when I was at the Great Debate here, which I'll get into next. But today they're holding the funeral. Melania, Hillary, and Michelle are all there at the funeral. I think it's wrapped up, but I don't know a lot about Barbara Bush. I know a lot about the other Bush.
No, you don't.
Screw you. That may change soon. But yeah, I like the little Jimmy.
Is there?
Oh no, there's no lady of interest. She already got taken up. But I'm being optimistic. Okay.
Very optimistic and opposite.
Oh God. This is why I love having you on. But from what I understand, Barbara Bush did a lot in terms of like education, and apparently she was helping like older people with reading disabilities.
Older people with reading disabilities, like what do you mean, like 80-year-olds who can't read?
I knew you were gonna say that, but apparently there's like people like in their 40s and 50s that can't read for whatever reason.
I feel sorry for those people. I mean, that's a public education system in America. You know, it's not surprising.
Yeah,
I know, and like see these things, and they go and like nowadays, you can probably read, but it's just so poor quality.
Yeah,
and it's a government, so you can go to private school, but the public schools they're terrible, and they go like, oh yeah, you're already paying for it, it's free. But then you're paying like $10,000 a year in property tax or something. It's not really all that free.
Nothing is free in America. But yeah, do you have anything to say about this? I have not much, but I figured we mention it.
I went to a funeral today myself, so I can kind of understand that. I'm not a big fan of the Bushes, but she was a person and she died. And
great commentary there, Alex.
Yeah, Trump didn't go because, I don't blame him. I wouldn't go. She kind of said, I don't know how women can vote for Trump, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably why Trump didn't go.
It's no wonder why the mainstream media is like, oh, Barbara Bush, so great, so bold. And I thought, oh, it's just because she died, they're being nice. But okay, yeah, she hates Trump. Makes sense now.
She was getting up in age. I mean.
Yeah, look at her husband. I'm surprised he didn't croak first, to be honest.
Well, geez, they've had some Me Too moments with them. I saw that a couple months ago. You see, Mr. Senior Bush, he's reaching for some Bush of his own.
He's doing it from his wheelchair. I'm like, dude, like.
Well, there's an actual problem. It's like dirty grandpa syndrome or something. It's not actually called that, but pretty much dirty grandpa.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
He's just like old. It's like that horny old man. I'd say it's common.
Yeah, even when you're past your prime, you're still trying to grab for the meow meow.
He might still have some spring in his step if you catch my drift.
Oh my god. Anyway, I did mention that I learned about this news during the Great Debate that was happening at Penn State, and for anybody that doesn't know, but hopefully you do if you're in this area, the Great Debate is the big thing the college Republicans and the college Democrats team up every year to do. They will each get a speaker of their own respective parties, and they'll have sort of debate, at Penn State. This last year they brought Martin O'Malley and some girl that's a Republican. I don't even remember her name. That's how bad it was. But this year was actually a good year, I think, because they brought Sean Spicy Spicer and Howard Dean. And if you don't know who either of those people are and you've been living under a rock, well, most people already knew who Sean Spicer was. He was, of course, Trump's ex-press secretary, the first one. He always combated the media. He had a lot of fun. I loved him. And even when he resigned, Trump still stuck up for Spicer. Spicer still stuck up for Trump. Howard Dean ran for president in, I believe, 2000 or 2004. I think it was 2004. Yeah, and he made his famous, as he called it, I have a scream speech, where when he won... I need to record that separate. That's a beautiful scream from you. But he did this speech where he like won. I think he won like one state, and he got so excited. He's like, and then we're gonna go to Indiana and Virginia and Vermont and Michigan and California, and we're going all the way to the White House. Wow! Yo, he did it like that. He got so excited. You gotta admit, he's not Jeb Bush. He is high energy.
You could say his excitement was a little premature.
It was very premature because his campaign, he even admitted his campaign wasn't all there. It was a mess. It was all disorganized, and he wasn't ready for primetime presidential business. So, spoiler alert, he lost. And so, yeah, they had the debate, and it really wasn't a debate. It was more of a discussion, in my view. And they asked about the role of, it was called, quote, the role of media in shaping a partisan climate. And they pretty much agreed on a lot of things. And they still disagree a lot, especially when Howard Dean would say some stupid partisan stuff about Trump, like, oh, I'm a Russia, and stuff like that. But I have to give, everybody who's listening to the show knows that I am not a fan of Democrats. I'm a right-wing populist. I love Trump. And I love Sean Spicer. He did great. But Howard Dean, I have to say, if this guy got rid of some of his goofy stuff, he'd be a very strong contender for the Republicans. The guy really, he gets culture to a short extent. I wish he'd understand it better. But he even says, I'm a culture warrior. And I'll tell you, that's what you need. You need a cultural candidate. What do you think about this, Alex?
I mean, I wasn't there to go and see that, but yeah, I guess this was probably the most interesting Republican candidate they've had there in like years. Like, dude, when I was in college Republicans, they had Karl Rove.
Oh God,
like he was so low energy. And like this year, at least the college Republicans did something right. They already screwed up Truth Week, and
that was a disaster.
I don't even know if they still have part. I guess they still do.
They had a formal just like last week, I think.
I mean, when I was here, like what was it, sophomore year, they actually had legit parties. Like one of the guys in here used to be in a frat. But nowadays, you
can't have those.
Yeah, you do like partying inside like this little small, well, what was it? It was like the Meridian. It was some like crappy little apartment. And you go and party in there, and it was like, it would be a nice apartment, but like when you have like 50 people in there, it's like trying to go and shove clowns in the little clown car, but you're supposed to have fun. Like, no, you can't really do that.
Yeah, I have to say I really like Spicer, and I said this in a group meeting. I got some crap for it from some people, but I stand by this statement. The CRs inviting Sean Spicer to the Great Debate was the only good thing they've done all year. Literally, bringing Sean Spicer is the only good thing they've done all year. I'm sorry, they haven't done much of anything. I mean, the 9/11 run's always a good thing, but when I'm talking about new things they do. 9/11 run's mostly run by the Travis Manion Foundation too, but the bringing Sean Spicer is the best thing they've done in a long time. Because I mean, this is the club that if folks don't remember, they were one of the few college Republicans that didn't endorse Trump. That's how cucked they are.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, we had a Democrat, running, being the president of the college Republicans.
Yeah, we're not exaggerating when we say that. Yeah, we
have the documents. We can actually, I believe the State Patriot reported on this. I'm going to quote that. And, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I know. Very low energy that year. I mean, there was other stuff that was in those documents, too.
No, there's a lot of spicy pod stuff in there.
Yeah, we had a Democrat operative who was, controlled oppositioning the college Republicans at Penn State. But, at least they had at least they polled people about supporting Trump. I'll give them that.
Yeah. At least they sent out a fake poll, unlike the Trump Club here at the Bull Moose Party. They didn't even poll people. They just polled endorsement completely, which I still think is stupid.
I wasn't a fan of Trump's actions, but, I would have at least tried to get, like, I would have at least waited a little bit. He seems like he's doing pretty decently now. We were on World War III.
Yeah. Did you notice that? Oh my God, World War III didn't happen? I think
it's important, though, that people that he does receive backlash on it, but I don't think, withdrawing all support for Donald Trump is the correct way to go about this.
Exactly. That's why I say if you disagree with something with him, tell him, but don't abandon your guy. I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. The Democrats are so much smarter than the Republicans in this one way, in the sense that they stick with their guy. No matter what controversy or anything that Hillary or Obama went through, they stuck with them. Now with Hillary, they started kind of fracturing off because the Bernie bro base some of them went for Trump and some of them didn't vote. But with Obama, they had a unified force, and that's how they won the White House. If Republicans do this and they divide up over petty little stuff, they're going to lose more seats and they're going to lose the White House again. You got to stick with your guy. Even if you don't get everything you like, you got to stick with them because it's better than the alternative. And Trump's for real. He's the best thing we've gotten in ages. Many say since Ronald Reagan. So if you're a fan of Reagan, then you'd say that. But I think he's the best thing the party's gotten before that. But that's a tangent. I will say, because I did get to meet both Sean Spicer and Howard Dean after the debate, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I really like that.
Yeah, but then the college Republicans kind of, then they kind of give you a short end of the stick on that one from a
little bit of false advertising, because I was told it was a meet and greet and you got to talk to them, but apparently, I just got a photo, an autograph, and that was it. I thought, because I think it was part of the problem is there were so many people that got the VIP tickets.
How many people actually gave a crap about Trump, though? Like, the president of the college Republicans, she got to go and have dinner with him.
Yeah. The whole exec board got to have dinner with Sean Spicer.
Yeah, and none of them, like I don't even think
they don't like Trump.
Like one Trump guy. Like, this is the exec board for our organization is terrible. Like, I know the president, and I have some interesting comments about this person.
Yeah, I was
better than the previous.
Oh yeah,
by leaps and bounds.
I want to make that clear that my whole experience is 1,000 times better than last year's college Republicans. It's just they're still a little cucked. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. But Sean Spicer, like meeting him was pretty cool. Howard Dean was pretty cool. They're all nice to meet. They both signed and gave me their autographs, which was very nice of them. Dinesh D'Souza didn't do that. He had to make me pay for that. But
I told him what was up with the current president of CRs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I told him. I was like, hey, I was like, hey, the current president of college Republicans that doesn't like Trump, and it's like,
yeah,
he was pretty upset at that, but
Yeah, that's why I was almost shocked they brought Spicer, because he's like,
oh yeah, and then guess what? I was seeing like the previous the straw, the previous president of college Republicans. I keep seeing stuff. It's like anti-gun. Pro taking away the Second Amendment rights, pro limiting the Second Amendment. And I was like, I guess he's out of office now, so it doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, of course it doesn't. He doesn't have principles. He just cares about one issue, and then we all know what that is. But other than that, yeah, I haven't checked his Twitter in a while. I should check to see what he's been saying. But yeah, he's said some stuff that's like pretty stupid, not Republican at all. But the next topic is there anything else you want to add to any of this before we move on?
No, I've got nothing.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to check. But I will say, though, meeting those two was pretty cool, and getting a picture and autograph, I will admit, that was cool, but I wish it was better. And Sean Spice, by the way, did seem like a nice guy. I would say he seemed very genuine.
He's a nice guy,
He's a nice guy, as Trump would say. Not that type of nice guy,
I would say about nice guys.
They finished last.
Yeah.
He's not. Look, here's the thing about Spice. Like, you would see, like, even in the press briefings, he could get tough. But he's still the same guy.
He's probably, laying pipe, right?
What?
He's probably laying pipe.
What does that mean?
Think about it, boy.
I will. But, yeah, they're like, he would even get into, like, arguments with Trump over some stuff. But, he seems the same guy on camera, off camera is what I'm trying to say. But he's still probably, he was in the military, so he's got to be tough to at least some extent. Because I know I'd fail the military. But anyway, we're going to now talk about an issue that's already gotten out of the headlines, but it kind of dominated like most of this week, and it's the Starcucks controversy.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I know it's one of those stories that shouldn't be a story, but it is, because progressives are so vocal and they can generate moral outrage so quickly. But I need to give the facts straight, because people keep misreporting and misrepresenting what happened. But basically what happened is there were two black guys that went into a Starbucks in Philadelphia, and they say they were waiting for somebody else. And I think they were in there for quite a while, I've heard. And then they asked they're just sitting there. They're just sitting in the Starbucks. And then they asked the owner, or not the owner, the cashier, if they can use the bathroom. and they deny it. They say, no, you can't use the bathroom because they weren't a paying customer. So then they say, well, you can buy coffee, you can buy this, you can buy that, and we'll give you the code to get into the bathroom. These bathrooms are locked, so you need a code. And they
That's the problems there.
What?
Maybe that's some problems there. There are people stealing toilet paper, just pooping on the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to be like McDonald's.
Yeah, they don't. They want to have actually a clean bathroom, especially considering how dirty public bathrooms are. I'd want that too.
These people on the soy diet, they eat soy and quinoa, they probably just go.
Yeah, they probably turn the walls brown real quick. But the employees, like I said, told them they wouldn't use the bathroom, and that technically makes them trespassers because they haven't used the product there. And the company policy of Starbucks, I did check, does not allow non-customers to use the bathroom. So then they were asked to leave, and then they started crying racism. Oh, because we're black, right? This white guy went in, he was able to use the bathroom, and he hasn't bought anything yet. But this white guy had literally just walked into the Starbucks and was about to be a paying customer, but he used the bathroom first. So that's why it was allowed. So then they called the cops, and they arrested the men and removed them from the store. And, people are freaking out saying, oh, Starbucks is racist. That's what's so ironic about this. All these hipsters and uber pretentious people that with beards and scarves and that listen to whale songs on records on the weekend, they're all crying racism at their favorite establishment, Starbucks, like the hipster mecca. And Starbucks did not discriminate based on race. They discriminated based off of customer status. And these guys were not customers. Okay, this is pretty basic. So Starbucks, is in a PR apocalypse right now for nothing. So they're going to close all stores on May 29th for racial bias training. I mean, it's just the silliest story ever. It's just because so many people don't know the facts and they think it's racism, but it's not. It's not. And the person I think that was kicking them out was Asian. I could be wrong on that, but it's just like people are freaking out over nothing.
You know what? Starbucks, they want to go and play the liberal game. They can go and reap the reward.
Yeah,
obviously,
hold them to their standards.
Then I keep seeing these. They're obviously a racist company.
Oh, obviously.
They should go and they should shut down for a while. They should give minorities free drinks.
Yes.
I was on Twitter. I saw some of these advertisements out there, and I don't know who was distributing them, but. Yeah,
Russian trolls.
Yeah, people actually got free drinks with it.
Dude, there was this black guy who's a comedian who's not for Black Lives Matter. He's anti-Black Lives Matter, all this SJW crap. He went into a Starbucks filming it, and he's like, yo, I hear Starbucks is racist. Can I have my free coffee? Starbucks reparations. And this this little white girl that's at the counter is like, oh, yes, sir. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Would you like caramel with that? He's like, oh, yeah, caramel. He's like, this is justice. This is, for black people. Black Lives Matter. She's like, oh, yeah, preach, man, And he gives the coffee to his son at the end. But, it was a total troll. This guy was trolling him so hard. This was the greatest troll of that, of this whole controversy. It was so great. I love that. He literally demanded Starbucks reparations, and he got them. Oh man.
Well, they deserve it. They want to go and keep playing these games, and they're very anti Trump. They're anti-military, anti-gun.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for these people.
Yeah.
And they fall for it. I think every single person, minority, religion, whatever the heck you want to say, they should go over and demand free coffee.
Yeah.
And then
it's
eventually Starbucks will run out of money because no one's going to pay for their food if you can get it for free.
Yeah. Everybody should, go out, get their free Starbucks reparations, and you're basically boycotting Starbucks. It's almost like a reverse boycott,
It's worse than boycott because you're actively taking money from them.
That's what I'm saying. It's instead of not
taking up their time, it's like a boycott time. It's like a boycott times two.
Yeah. Well, because a regular boycott, you just don't buy the product. Here, you don't buy the product, and you also take the product.
It would be funny, and I'm definitely not recommending this.
No, we're not promoting this.
For
Be very
the record,
clear.
if we had someone who, they go to Starbucks and they go and use the bathroom and then like poop on the floor, just like poop on, crap up the bathroom.
They take all the toilet paper.
Oh my god, they just like wreck that place. And then they'd like have half their staff trying to go fix the bathroom.
Oh
that'd
my
be a
god.
terrible thing to do.
That'd be terrible for those poor workers.
That'd be funny, but that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Like at all the college grads, that'd lose a lot of college grads' jobs because they just end up quitting. They'd have to go back to school to get a real major or work at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is everybody that has a gender studies major works at Starbucks. So the people you'd be hurting are like these feminists that like can't get a job in the real world. But it's so funny. Like Howard Schultz was giving this oh my gosh, this is so terrible. I'm so sorry. This is disgraceful that our company would do this. I'm just like, you were just biggest BS or ever. Like you don't care. Like all you do is to improve repair your company's image over nothing. Like it's silliness.
It's like that thing on South Park. It's like, we are sorry. And they just see it was like BP, and they're just like shooting oil everywhere.
Yeah.
But instead of oil, it's like coffee and racism.
Coffee and racism. Watch, they're gonna.
Coffee. It's made by they go and take like melanin and they use it. They extract it.
Well, isn't coffee racist because it's brown? There's no white coffee. You notice that?
Well, no, they're culturally appropriating it because it was originally a bean from Africa.
Yes.
And then the colonists took it over after they stole it from the Muslims.
The white man.
It's actually, it's a sad thing. It's actually
true.
Yeah, that's why they call it like a coffee Arabica.
Oh my God.
Well, because the Arabs stole it from the Ethiopians. And then, the Europeans end up smuggling it over to, Dutchville or whatever the heck it is, the Netherlands. Then they end up no, not Deutschland, that's Germany. And then they end up spreading it everywhere. And then the Dutch end up growing it in some place, and they grew the first thing outside of Africa. And then you start seeing all their colonies, they start growing that stuff. And most like Spain got it, I think, or Portugal, and that's why you see it in Colombia, Colombia roast, and it's all over the world. And eventually went back to Africa again because the colonists took over that too, and they're like, oh shoot, yeah, I think we were here before.
Yeah,
and growing it back in Ethiopia again, around the world in probably like 800
years. Yeah, well. Everybody, if you want to get your coffee from Starcucks, you can get it now. Just May 29th, I think it was. Oh, I'm already forgetting the date. May 29th? Yeah, you can't get it. So, they're going to just piss off customers.
So this, just for people, who are full-timers, every single person. What if you're, a lot of these people are college students. Do they just expect them to drop out of class and work Thursdays? What if they're going through, gender reassignment surgery?
Dude, yeah, if you want to change your gender, do it on May 29th if you're a Starbucks employee.
Well, speaking of that, I was with my relatives, and, they're telling me.
I'm going to have to hold that story for after the break, so I got to get to the break quickly, but you can tell me after.
Actually, I'm going to have to go and take a little break myself. I'll call back after at some point possibly.
Okay. Well, make sure you have the story because we want to hear it, okay?
I mean, if not, I could always save that for
the last episode. Yeah. You're holding us in suspense. Anyway. North Korea. Big news this week coming out of that country, as the talk with President Trump and Kim Jong-un is coming closer. North Korea has announced just today that they will stop nuclear tests and launches of intercontinental ballistic missiles. Big news there. I'm going to go over some stuff that's happened, stepping backwards, that's happened over the week. A few days before that, South Korea is reportedly planning to officially end the 65-year-long North Korean war. President Trump announced that CIA Director Mike Pompeo met with Kim Jong-un. Trump also said that he was negotiating with North Korea to release 3 Americans being held as prisoners there. And the South Korean president, Moon Jae-in, announced on Thursday that North Korea is expressing a will for a complete denuclearization. That's in quotes, complete denuclearization. South Korean media has also reported that a hotline has been established between the leaders of the North and the South. All this is big news. Donald Trump is playing Richard Nixon's madman. I think it's Nixon's madman strategy. He's trash talking Kim Jong-un, getting at his level, speaking his language, and look what's happening. Progress. People are all freaking out like, oh my God, World War III is going to happen because Donald Trump tweet about having a bigger button. And guess what? It's working. I think Trump and Kim are going to get along great. He's going to, I've said this before on this show, I'll say it again. By the end of the year, North Korea will be denuclearized. Trump is going to, meeting Kim Jong-un's already a historic thing, but actually denuclearizing this country is going to be even more historic. No president obviously has done that before. No president has come even this close. I've never seen just a president, just totally rework and re-engineer the game. Like, this is completely unheard of, how far we've gotten. They've all just been kicking the can down the road and been doing nothing about North Korea. It's really depressing, but thankfully, President Trump is actually doing something about this, and we're going to see denuclearization. It's going to happen. I mean, I cannot say that enough. This has just been, substantial progress, and, it's going to be interesting to see how China, what they're going to get out of it and what North Korea's going to get out of this, because they have some leverage, and they're going to have to get something for a deal to actually happen, but right now, all the leverage is with America because we've been strangling them economically with the sanctions and killing their industry. Kim needs money. He needs to be able to buy food to feed his fat mouth, So he's got to fold eventually, and that Trump knows that. I mean, it's so obvious, but no leaders had the balls to do it, but Trump has, because he's not controlled by special interests. He's not controlled by the lobbyists. He is independent. He's, fighting for America, fighting for the people, and he wants to fix this. I think also, like, this is sort of like been a storm that's been building, and then once you see him like doing more and more tests, it's like, guys, we got to do it now, And so I think that's the other reason past presidents really haven't dealt with, is because they haven't had the necessity to. They haven't had that, I was trying to think of the word, but I can't. That's sort of like pressure on them that we got to do this now. So that's going great. We're going to keep following that. Hopefully next week when we have our final broadcast, we will have some more information to report, because this stuff was literally happening every day. It was like a new announcement, big announcements. If this happened like once every month, like, it'd be massive story, but this is happening just in this week. So big stuff. And Mike Pompeo, I think it's such a great play that Trump sent Pompeo to meet with Kim, because CIA director, he knows his stuff, and he would deal with this great. But at the same time, the Senate has been stalling approval of him. Guys like Rand Paul and all these Democrats have been stalling it. And now Trump just sends him there, and he does great. He talks with Kim, and he's going to be part of this historic progress of denuclearizing North Korea. They're going to have to confirm him now. I mean, it was a smart move. It was genius. But another big thing that happened the other day, which made me laugh when I saw, because it shows how silly and desperate the DNC is. The Democratic Party, the bankrupt Democratic Party, is suing the Trump campaign, WikiLeaks, and Russia. Oh my God, they got them all three. The lawsuit is saying, in quote, that in the Trump campaign, Russia found a willing and active partner in this effort to mount a brazen attack on American democracy, which included Russian infiltration of the Democratic Party computer network. Oh my God. They said the Trump campaign, quote, gleefully welcomed Russia's help. And they basically said that this was just a scheme by the Russians that would help Trump, hurt Hillary, all for the benefit of the Kremlin. And they said the Trump campaign kept secret communications with the Russian government. And they also, pinned some blame on Julian Assange, saying that he shared a common goal of damaging the Democratic Party. Oh, how dare he want to, reveal documents and reveal the truth. Julian Assange, of all these people here, did nothing wrong pretty much. I mean, you could argue because you could argue the way those documents were obtained could be illegal because people could have stolen it. But Julian Assange just leaks it. That's all he does. And he has no goal of helping Republicans and hurting Democrats. He hurts them both. So to say that he was just sharing this common goal of damaging Democratic Democratic Party is really silly, because that's not his goal. His goal is to reveal the truth and to reveal corruption. And again, they reassert that the DNC was hacked by the Russians. It's so silly, because one, that hasn't been proven. Two, you really can't prove that. Okay, I don't care if you could make a virus and make something looks like it comes from Israel, for example. The Russians could be doing that. So how do you know it's really coming from the Russians? You really don't know. And it's probably an inside job. That's why I've heard from many sources that it could have very well been Seth Rich. Could have been the real leaker, the guy that got the documents and gave it to WikiLeaks to leak. It's much more possible, because you look at who this guy was. He wore red, white, and blue American flag shirts and pants. He was a patriot. He loved Bernie Sanders. So then when he found the DNC rigged it against him, he was mad. And so, you can see motivation there, clear motivation to hurt Hillary Clinton. So I don't understand why Julian Assange is a big bad guy. Now he's a Russian agent. A few years ago, he was the darling of the left. They loved the guy. Like, oh, he's so great, revealing how bad our military was when they shot these innocent civilians. Now it's all, oh, Julian Assange is a Russian agent. He's been turned. No, he's just showing stuff that your side doesn't like. Yeah, that's the one good thing about 2016 was that we got to see what the DNC really was, which was a corrupt, part of the swamp. And Julian Assange, I used to not be the biggest fan, because I thought, well, he's probably doing some illegal stuff. But the more I grew up, the more I realized that, you know what, this guy's doing stuff that you could argue the ends justify the means. Because journalists aren't reviewing corruption in the government. Investigative journalism is dead. Nobody's doing it. If journalists aren't checking the government, who do we have? Who do we have to check them? The media's so biased, they're not going to check them. So you have people like, that are in the inside that leak stuff to WikiLeaks, and then WikiLeaks leaks it. And WikiLeaks has got a perfect record. They literally have never done a misprint ever, unlike the mainstream media, which does it literally every day. WikiLeaks has a perfect record, and they've been revealing the truth. So that's why you see things like WikiLeaks are going to increase and rise in the years in terms of importance and potency, because they are the ones that are showing the people the truth. It's not going through that mainstream media filter, because the mainstream media either doesn't report on what WikiLeaks does, or when they do, it goes through a filter. But if you go to WikiLeaks, you get the truth, and people are finding it out. People are waking up to this stuff, and I think a lot of people don't like that. The government certainly doesn't like it, because it hurts their interests. The media doesn't like it because it's stealing their audience. So, that's why I think they both hate him. So, at the same time, when they say that, they're going to sue the Trump campaign, the Trump campaign has done nothing wrong in terms of quote-unquote Russian collusion. You had the only people Mueller has nailed have been people like I'm forgetting his name already, Paul Manafort, who all he nailed him on was for being a dirty lobbyist. Oh, imagine my shock. Paul Manafort is a dirty lobbyist. Has nothing really to do with Russia, but that's the charges he filed against him. Filed against a bunch of other people, and it was nothing. Oh, we have a phone call. Let me pick that up. Hello, Alex. You back?
Hello, Alex. Yeah.
Glad you're back.
I want to have some cake or pie or something or other.
Oh, that's nice. What type?
It was apple. Very American.
Yeah, America.
Nothing more American than that. But what was I saying?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
I just want to wrap up what I was talking about. I'll get into what you were saying. But basically, yeah, I'm going to see where the last thing I want to touch on with that was that I think the Democratic Party is suing these Trump campaign, WikiLeaks, and Russia because they're bankrupt people. They have no money. The Republicans are outgrowing them in terms of money big time. I know money isn't everything because Trump won with substantially less money, but that's what these establishment groups need if they want to push establishment candidates. So
that's why they need child labor. That's where you see was it David Hogg and
yes, David Hogg is child labor. That's true.
Yeah, they're exploiting children, child labor. They should go and take them to court over that.
Yeah, we should sue them for exploiting children, which is what they are doing because that kid knows nothing about guns. And he's just trying to become a darling of the media and a darling of the left. I mean, he probably has some intentions to fix this stuff, but right now he's just trying to push boycotts.
Well, I don't even think I haven't seen that much in the recent news cycle. I think they're starting to get bored of him.
Yeah, it's really died out. Like last yesterday even that there was like a big vigil and I don't even know if it was a march held for the Combine thing, because that happened, a few years ago on the day of April 20th, 420, and that was the last little thing. Even that didn't get much media attention. CNN had like a little notification, but that was it. And David Hogg has been pretty much out of the headlines now. He's really flamed out. It's
they found his like Reddit history, and they found there was some pretty interesting things.
Oh, they found some not so nice things he said.
Oh yeah, especially talk about gun violence. There's like a couple things. There's some interesting things, but everyone has their history on the internet.
Oh yeah.
But it is what it is. He wants to go and steal my rights. But
it's just hypocritical because he acts so morally superior, morally in the right, and it's like, well, look at what you're doing.
Yeah, and that boy got it like backfired because now like Laura Ingraham has like double the amount of views.
Yeah, and the NRA membership's gone up like 20% or something. Or I think no, Laura Ingram's viewership went up 20%. But the NRA's gotten like lots of new members. Milo just became an NRA member too, so it's totally backfiring because it's reactionary.
Well, they've been having some problems though, because like was it Iowa? They had that recently. They had some laws passed over there. It wasn't Iowa. It was one of them West Coast places. Is like was it Oregon, Vermont? Probably Vermont.
I don't remember.
Bernie Sanders was from. I think it was Vermont. They ended up like passing some gun control over there, but
Yeah.
They need to go. They need to go and start fighting back. Like I think we can retake Colorado if we put our minds to it.
I agree. Colorado has a lot of Republicans. A lot more than people realize. And a lot of other states have a lot of potential to be flipped in 2020, so it'd be interesting.
Well, it's not that we need to repeal the gun laws over there.
Yeah.
Like once it's passed, it's like, you gain like 10 pounds in the last like waistband stretch. It's just really hard to go and shrink it.
Yeah.
It's easy to go and put on weight, just eat a McDonald's cheeseburger, eat some milkshakes, but then like losing it, it's going to require a lot of work, but it can be done.
Oh, yeah. So what's your story you have to tell us?
Oh, geez. So I was talking to my aunt out there. Or not my aunt, it was my uncle. And this like little girl over there, and like she's in grade school, and then apparently one of the kids in her class, because she's she's good with the arts, she's into that stuff, and you see the sort of crowd that tends to do this. And take in mind these people are like 12 years old, 13 years old, it's like 8th grade, and like they're already talking about like getting a sex change operation. It's like the one girl like. Yeah, it was like, Amanda wants to go by like Alex or something now.
Oh no! Oh, she wants to go by your name, Alex.
And already talking about like, was you like going in class? Oh yeah, well I'm gonna go and like start with the top. I was just like, what? You don't even have tits yet, and you want to go take them out? How can you like? What's wrong with the parents who allow this stuff to happen?
Wow, this is like, how old is she?
Like 13, and they want to already like see. I disagree with it. But it's like one thing if you're like an adult, and then you want to go and like chop off your, ball into like you're clicking 2 berries, and it's another thing if you're like 13 and you want to go and like remove that. Yeah, it's a big difference because like they had that little Jazz. I think it was Jazz, like that little transgender kid because the mom. I think the kid wanted the kid to become transgender, and it was like 8 years old or something.
Yeah, there's like these mothers. Yeah, there's these mothers that literally want their kids to be trans.
And like there was this like viral YouTube video back during the Obama presidency, and it was like the mom giving the kid a hormone injection. People were like, "Oh, it's so liberal," and then they ended up, he's now like I think or she or it, it's like I think 13 or it's like an adult or something, and it wants to get the actual sex change, but they gave him the hormones at such an early age. They never developed enough to go and create a function, some sort of lady part area, so they can't even do it now because they staggered his growth.
Yeah, it's really screwed up because I think. See, here's the thing. I would be like, you know what? The left and the right should have bipartisan support. We should all agree on this. This should be common ground that. You have to be at least 18 or 21 to get, a transition surgery. That should be common ground, right? But it isn't. If you have to be
21 to buy a gun, I think you should be 21 to go and chop off your penis.
Yeah, I know.
That's common sense genital control. Yes.
Because to me, it's like...
let's go and change that too. I think you should be 21 if you want to, have relations outside of marriage. I think that would be a smart idea.
Yeah.
That's probably more
That'd be
dangerous than
progressive.
guns. Because, like, look how many single mothers are there out there. You know, and look at what they do to the system.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more people probably die because of Democratic senators getting elected by single mothers. If you think about it like that.
You're not wrong.
Well, I mean, just look at the abortion. You know, how many people, how many kids die every day? Oh, the guns, they kill, thousands of people. Like, there's like a Holocaust like every year just of baby fetuses being, and that's
Planned Parenthood is the biggest killer of black babies than anything else, but Black Lives Matter is worried about cops.
It's just like, come on. And then, like, what would they do? I think they're, like, marching for the gun control or something, like Planned Parenthood. Like,
oh, God. That's ironic.
You have blood on your hands. And it's like,
you have blood on your hands.
Yeah, like, you literally, like, promote abortion. You're saying other people have blood on their hands. Like,
they literally do. When they chop.
They don't even, like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, they perform all these other, like, tasks. Well, like, have you ever actually been to one of those? Like, you try to go and get,
disturbing.
Like, if you want to go and, like, talk to them about things like other than, like, preventing a kid, like child care, like even I think routine mammograms, or not mammograms, like ultrasounds. I think it was on Steven Crowder or something like that, or maybe it was Stefan Molyneux. And they had they don't really, they charge you more for like mammograms and like, like the X-ray stuff for your baby than for like the abortion.
Yeah.
Like relatively, like, that's the only reason why people go there is just cheap abortion, and because of that, everything else is expensive. And they go in they're politically involved, and they're paid for by my taxpayer dollars.
Yep.
How is that? If they can do that with Planned Parenthood, why aren't we going to have like an NRA organization that's taxpayer funded? I think.
Let's make it happen.
How like far the left would be flipping out? It's like the NRA receive tax money.
Oh my God, they'd be freaking.
But Planned Parenthood kills more people than the NRA does.
And that's okay.
The NRA doesn't kill anyone. The NRA doesn't kill anyone.
Dude, vegans have killed more. Vegans.
Yeah.
Vegans have committed more mass shootings than the NRA.
That's very true. What was it? Women vegans. Feminists. Feminists. And feminists. They kill a lot of people who take abortion into account. It's like. There's like, what was it? Was it Amy Schumer or something who was like talking about like you can't be a feminist unless you've had an abortion?
What?
Maybe it wasn't Amy Schumer. It was someone. It was one of them. No. Who was that other girl?
Sarah Silverman.
No, the one who goes around with Amy Schumer a lot. It was like the disgusting one from Girls Who.
Yeah, that's Sarah Silverman.
No, she may or may not have put pebbles into her little sister's hoo-ha when they were kids. It was.
I don't know this person. I'm looking at this.
It was the other really ugly one who was in the girls' television show.
Let me look it up.
And then she had like a baby or something in the movie.
Oh God!
Like,
is that show still on? I remember that was a thing, and it was like on HBO, like at weird times. And I heard stuff about it, and then I heard more. I was like, oh God!
It was Lena Dunham. That's who it was.
Lena Dunham. Yeah, I found it. Yeah, Lena Dunham. I forget them all because they all kind of blend in, all these like goofy, stupid feminists.
Well, they all look disgusting. They're like, my vagina has a voice. That's like their whole thing.
It goes roar.
And then who was that other person? Like, you see, I think I showed you that video, that a feminist comedian from Australia. And it was like, my dad's Google history. It's like the most stupid comedy. It's like they're trying to go be as least offensive as possible. It's like,
wow.
It's this, and they pay. This is taxpayer funded in Australia, and it is the least funny thing I've seen. It was just like, oh, my dad's Google history, and I know it's just
crickets.
She got to say random things. It was like women, and then people would start laughing. It was like sandbox, and then it was like bad idea. Here's a bad idea: denim condoms. Like, what the heck is this? like it's just like something that I would do when I was like, in like elementary school. Like maybe not like with the adult jokes. It'd be like, hey, it's a bad idea, like bumblebee toilet paper. That'd be a bad idea.
Genius.
And that's just like what they did. It's not even funny.
That's the punchline?
Yeah, it's just like, here's a bad idea. And then she's like, blah, 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 blah. And she does this like stupid dance.
What?
And this is taxpayer funded in Australia.
Boycott.
You have to go and pay a TV license in those countries.
Yeah, it's like the BBC.
Yeah. But you have to go and pay for feminist comedy.
Yeah.
And like, because everything's offensive to them, it's either like, just complete like benign crap, or it's even worse. It's just like, oh, abortion. I did the hoo-ha. I'm disgusting, and I make the sex with men. That's basically what it gets. That's this feminist comedy.
That's Girls. Like you just summed up the show Girls, and every
that's
Amy
just like
Schumer.
Lena Dunham's career.
Yeah, Lena Dunham is disgusting. She's totally unfunny. And when Milo says it, like, I remember he was on Bill Maher, and Bill Maher's like, I find her funny too. Stop picking on fellow HBO. I'm like, Bill, you are funny. You should know that Lena Dunham and Amy Schumer are unfunny. They are the least funny people like in comedy right now. Comedy's gotten really bad, but that's like the bottom of the barrel.
Well, shit. I wish that she would take out of what was it, Jeff Dunham. I think.
Jeff Dunham's great. I wish she'd be like that.
Related?
Dude, based on their comedy acts, no way.
Well, maybe Jeff got all the comedy genes, and then she felt like she was in her dad's or my brother's footsteps, so she tries to go and be a woman comedian.
Well, you know what's oh, sorry.
Like there's ways you can do it. Like who was it? I think did Lord Southern do comedy? She did some pretty funny things. I don't know if she'd be comedian.
No, she didn't do comedy. No. Oh, you think of Dave Rubin? Dave Rubin does comedy.
There's one of them actually. There's like some
Crowder did comedy stand up.
Oh yeah, and there was like one woman comedian who was actually funny, but she was on the right. Maybe I'm just thinking of like all the stupid situation, like all the internet blood sports that goes on with
Andy Worski.
Who's that one girl who's a really bad one?
Oh, Laura Loomer.
Yeah, just all the stuff she gets in trouble for is pretty funny.
She can be used for good.
Humor.
Yeah,
it's like meta humor.
Yeah. Got that deepness to it. But what's interesting? I bring up a Girls. I'm looking at the cast here and I see Lena Dunham and all these other girls. One of them's hot, but that's it. You want to know who else is on this show?
What?
Adam Driver. Do you know who that is?
No.
I'll give you a hint. Emo Nazi LARPer.
What?
Do you know who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, maybe. Wait, no. What?
In a
did he join the alt-right or something?
No. In a galaxy far, far away, there's an emo Nazi LARPer.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, I remember seeing a GIF of that. And it was like, and they like messed with the one guy from that Star Wars video. It was like, why is he with this Lena Dunham? Ew. So there's like
yeah, dude.
I saw that now that makes sense. So it's like,
yep.
Like, how much money did they go and pay him to go deal with that?
I think, they got him for cheap. Yeah, he is ugly. He's not good looking. Some girls think he's good looking, but only ugly girls say that.
It's the sort of girls who would think that, like, they're funny, if you're that stupid.
Yeah, he's on. He is, if nobody's getting it yet, he's Kylo Ren from the new Star Wars movies, the SJW-ridden, filled to the brim of SJW feminist nonsense Star Wars. And he's like, Kylo Ren, who's basically a Nazi. He's LARPing as Darth Vader. He's doing a bad job at it, and he's like acts like a Nazi half the time. He's like some like alt-right like Sith. But
oh god,
yeah.
Well, like he didn't do a very good job because like who was the one guy? The black guy was a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if he was really like alt-right evil Nazi, how come they have black people in there?
He didn't do extreme vetting well enough.
What do they? I thought they cloned them, or maybe they stopped doing.
No, I was rewatching this because I was showing Mikey it, and it's like they just recruit stormtroopers now for They get diversity hires.
Well, I thought they were Nazis. I thought they doesn't match up with that ideology. You can't have Nazis with diversity hires.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess even it's in the new Star Wars, even the bad guys have diversity. But like that Rose character, the Asian girl, is such a diversity hire.
God. Well, she was
so
like
cringy.
Who's that Gungan guy? Like,
Jar Jar?
Yeah, she's basically like the Jar Jar.
No, Jar Jar's way better. I don't care if people say Rose is worse than Jar Jar. I actually find Jar Jar funny at times. I don't mind him. Rose is just constant.
She forced that kiss in that movie. I thought, that was like a Me Too moment.
Yeah. She's Rose Weinstein. She's like forced to get out of it. And she does it. She goes like, the only way like to like win the wars is like to save the ones we love. She says some really goofy line, and she's like kissing him after she saved. Finn was gonna go out with a bang and like save everyone, but she freaking ruins this powerful character emotional moment, and she says this goofy line, starts kissing him, and the freaking Bates is blowing up with all the good guys in it. I'm like, you utter prick.
Well, it's just like these people. It's just like watching two people with really stupid brains like getting into a fight in like a back alley. It's just it's like they just
so
like back, they're like in wheelchairs and stuff. They're trying to get into a fist fight. It's just like it just isn't even fun to watch. It's just like
Yeah, I could rant about that movie, and I'm gonna probably rant about it next week because I'm gonna show it.
We've had, I think, an episode where we talked about it before.
Oh, we talked about Black Panther, the We Was Kang's movie, but I don't think
we talked about this after this came out. We had a whole episode on it.
Oh yeah, on the SoundCloud. Yeah, we did. Yeah, that got good ratings.
Did we put that one on here?
No, we can't because it's a live broadcast. We recorded that during the summer. Remember? Or during the Christmas break.
We need to go and kick that off. We need to go and kick up the audios. We need to keep us going in the summer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to figure something out. But I want to touch on one little short story, and I'm going to save another one for next week, so hold your rockers in suspense. But Kanye West made big news today because he tweeted out, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks." Now, if you don't know who Candace Owens is, she is a ex-Obama supporting liberal who became a Trump supporting Republican who's black. And she's now the communications coordinator for Turning Point USA nationally. And Kanye, who met with Trump during the transition because they were friends, and I think he said at a concert, "I would have voted for Trump." And now he said this, "Yeah, I know. Dude, Kanye's red-pilled. It's funny."
I think he's just trying. I think he just does it to be edgy, to go and piss people off.
It's possible.
That's his personality. Like, didn't he have like a Confederate flag in one of his like albums just to go and piss people off?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It was like one of. He's just you get to go and like he kind of trolls people.
Hey, it's good to me. I love that sort of trolling. I mean, even if he doesn't believe it, I think it's still great because people are losing their minds. Twitter called her far right Candace Owens.
Well,
She's not far right.
People, you hear what speaking of black people, you hear what happened with Diamond and Silk.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be testifying against the Zuck in Congress.
Oh my God,
that's gonna be funny. They better do it as a pair too, so they could do like they do their videos where the one speaks and the other goes, or yes, preach.
Like
Trump's my man.
Since the election.
Oh, the meme will become a reality. It's so great. I love this stuff.
Dude, I hope Zuck gets taken down.
I hope Zuck gets cucked in Congress. That's the sort of stuff that wins you votes and gets you. That's the culture where we need to fight. This is the sort of stuff that's great when you have these comedians and personalities like Diamond Silk that are testifying in Congress. I mean, that just their presence is going to create so much attention and make them more popular. It's great. This is the stuff the right needs. I love this stuff. But any last words from you today, Mr. Alex, before we close out?
Not really, but check out what's going to be coming down the pipeline. We're going to figure out some way to go and keep delivering content to you over the summer. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll figure it out hopefully by next week so we can at least give you maybe a URL or a username. But you want to continue this?
Yeah, if you search for Bull Moose Radio on the SoundCloud, you can see the episodes and all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, I'm just going to have to keep you guys in suspense because I don't have anything really planned yet. But I would like to keep doing a show over the summer so, people are in the know how.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.